Hi, I'm Noah Crosby at Randolin Music Instrument Repairs at randolin.com, and today we're going to show you how to change your strings and adjust your action. First of all, what we have here is a Martin DX1. It's kind of, a common guitar in a lot of ways. It's a dreadnought. And first of all, I'm going to show you how to take off the strings. Most people would probably have a little string liner like this. Okay, you probably want to have that, otherwise it's going to take you a long time to change your strings. But we're going to use an electric one. And we're going to take the strings down pretty quickly so we don't have to wait all day. Okay, we've got the strings down. Now we're going to take the end pins, bridge pins out. One by one, here we go. Doesn't really take that long to change your strings, you just need a few things. Good to have a little wire cutter here. It can help you pull out the strings and cut the string ends off later on. See, now I've got all the string ball ends out, and then we're going to take them off here at the top. If you haven't wrapped them too tightly, it should just come right out. And we'll show you how to wrap them here in a minute. We're going to dispose of them properly into the garbage. You don't need to save old strings, because once the bottoms are flattened out and they're dirty, they're not really good for anything else. Okay, now we're going to put the new strings on, one at a time. These are Martin phosphor bronze strings. Most people these days like phosphor bronze strings. They're a bright string. Once they break in, they last a long time. Some people like different strings, but this is what... So first of all, you go down here. So I'll show you a better close-up here. We're going to bring it up here, over the nut, wrap it once, just wrap it once, and then put it in the string hole, pull it tight, and bend it around. That's all you really need to do, because a lot of people do some fancy things and then it's hard to get your guitar string off later. Then you're going to tighten it up a little bit, not all the way, just a little bit. We'll tighten everything up later. And cut your string end off so you don't poke yourself in the eye or in the finger. Throw it away. And then come to the next one. Do the same thing. I'll show you that one more time. Bend it a little bit too. Just bend the string a little bit so it's easy to put in the hole. Push the bridge pin down. Once again, we're going to go over here. Wrap it around once, start to go twice, put it in the hole, pull it through, pull it tight, and bend it around a little bit. That's all you need to do. Bending it over and things like that just makes it hard to get the strings off later. And for you professional musicians that are at a gig, it makes it particularly tight, tiresome, and difficult. Now just to show you again, now if you look here closely, I don't know if you can see that, there are actually 3 wraps around that. That's all you need. And if you've bent it around, got that bent, that's all you need. You don't need anything more than that. So we're going to quickly get the rest of these strings on, so we can show you how to adjust the neck a little bit. Those of us who do this all the time, this is a pretty quick job. Do this 5 to 10 times in a day. So if you're doing it while people wait, you want to be quick about it, so that they can get on there with their business and you can get on with more difficult repairs. Now with the plain steel strings, I'm going to wrap them around about 2 or 3 times so that and do the same thing. Gone through, bend it over, and then when you do the wrap, it'll be more than enough. So if you want to count that, then once it's tight, there's probably about 4 or 5 wraps once you've tightened the string. We're going to use a tuning fork here. You can use an electronic tuner. Over tighten that a little bit. Go through all the strings and tighten them first. So we're tuning them all. You're going to have to tune your guitar several times once you put new strings on. That's pretty good. Now, what you can do too, if you have it, you have one of these little rulers. It's called a general. Measures in 32nds and 64ths. You can buy this at any local hardware. It has a little adjustable sliding measurement on here. You're going to want to measure at the 12th fret, from the top of the 12th fret to the bottom of the string, and that's going to give you height. I like to measure in 64ths because that gives you the most accurate amount of height. Now this one is at 7/64, okay, on the bass E string. The top E string is also about 7/64. Now for Martin, that's at the very top of what you can intonate at correctly, and that's too high for this guitar. But I can see that the neck needs to be adjusted. So here we're going to do. This is actually a Martin truss rod or hex wrench we're using because it has a long end and a shorter end. This one is going to probably take the shorter end. And in here, inside here, this one is pretty close. You're going to take the shorter end and put it in the truss rod hole, and then we're going to turn. Now this one, we're going to tighten it, so we're going to turn it towards the treble side. Let's do 2 turns, or 2 partial turns, not a full turn. And we're going to measure it. And if it's stiff, which this one was a little stiff, I'm not going to turn it too much. So that's still at, see, we brought it down to just about 6/64 on the and it's still about 7/64 on the bass side. So you may notice on this, you can see there's not a lot of saddle height, but I also know that this customer doesn't really like his action too low. So I'm going to look at the neck here quickly. It needs to have just a little bit of curve in the neck. It shouldn't be perfectly flat. Not for acoustic guitars. We're not going to go any further than that. Some guitars can be a little flatter than others. So we're going to give this just a little more turn. See if we can get a little more, get the action just a little bit lower. And that did it, actually. That's just about 6/64 on the bass, at 6/64 and maybe touch below on the treble. So that's about perfect. And we'll just, now we'll check the tuning again. There you go. So we've adjusted the action, restrung it, and we're all ready to go. And that's our lesson for today.